Young people today aren't engaged in the political process. With youth unemployment exceeding 50%, how best can you explain what is happening in Europe to a youth populace?
To answer your question, you have to go back to the causes for the situation, which made this almost unavoidable.
The truth is, when we had a single currency, the politics and the economics had to be put together in the right way, and they weren't.
And because they didn't address that, you had a whole generation of people who didn't get proper jobs and get integrated into the society.
It's also the desperation that this might not change during their lifetime.
Young people need an answer right now. They want a perspective. They want a Europe that gives them an opportunity for their life. They want a job.
I don't believe the solution to this is simply austerity. Certainly we need fiscal responsibility.
Well, leaders have to explain to the people why we are doing what we are doing, why you have to take some pain for the greater good later.
It's not that political leaders aren't trying to do their best for people, it's that it's fantastically hard.
Europe is not prepared and is not really capable to defend his interest in the globalized world.
We will only be strong in a globalized world if we Europeans stick together. Because 500 million Europeans, that is a voice that is heard.
This is where Europe must invest in becoming competitive.
So that their economies are stronger, we can trade more with each other, and we can wield more power and therefore bring more jobs, more opportunity, more prospects for people.
Which means investing in human capacity, infrastructure, investing in green growth and green energy grids.
We could gain enormously in Europe if we had a common energy policy. Be both better for the environment, reduce costs.
I think the big fact for politicians is it's harder for them to lie to young people because young people are more connected and they can check what they say. The fact of the matter is that people would say all sorts of stuff when I was a young person, and I had no way of checking. Now somebody says something, you can just look it up, say, is that true or not? Or here's something he said, I don't like him, I don't support that, or that's wrong, or that's not the truth.
I think being a politician today is more difficult than ever, if only because of internet and Twitter and, you know, and name it, everything goes extremely fast. And people want solutions, people want short-term solutions to very complex issues.
Look at the world and look at your surroundings, and the approach you have has to change.
The way we live and work and art, culture, everything is pushing the world together.
The fact that we live in a globalized world with when there is a financial crisis in one country, it is spreading itself all over the world.
History will tell us that the last two world wars started due to intra-European conflicts.
It's the end of an era. It's not just a small change. I mean, the world is changing. We have to build Europe seriously. We have to stop talking and do what we pretend that we do.
If we don't take the right decisions to get ourselves out of this, but get out of it together, it's going to be worse for us.
Is our priority to give jobs to the youth or to the oldest people? What type of energy policy do we need to be competitive? At what time do we want to retire, etc., etc.? All these decisions have to be discussed publicly, and we have to choose the people making the decisions together.
When you have a group of people who come together and they have shared ideas, shared values, they also have shared challenges and problems.
And using this great opportunity of diversity as a strength rather than as a weakness.
The big message about young people today is that they're better educated, smarter, and they're cooler and savvier than any generation has been before, frankly. And yet we're not using them. We're not using them to inform our decisions. They're not participating, and that's a real tragedy.
I think they need to take up the mantle. They need to take up the flag, if you say, of changing Europe, of creating a Europe of the citizens.
This youth generation that's driving the online experience, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth, the sooner we can get that generation to be in charge, right, get these old people like me out of this thing and get a new generation of leaders who can use these tools, right, to move the body politic forward, to make the world a safer place, to do a better job of quality of life for everybody, and education and so forth, the better.